Hi everybody, welcome back to Heroic Performance's YouTube channel. My name is Joshua Haig and I am the owner of Heroic Performance. Today I wanted to tackle meal prep in your everyday life, in what you're doing to be tactful and have tangible results as 2024 kind of kicks off. A six-pack's made in the kitchen, results are found in the kitchen, whatever the cliche saying is, yes, it's made in the kitchen. Now, I come from a chefing background. I was a professional chef for quite some time before I started my whole fitness journey. So food for me is of absolute paramount importance. I carry an on-staff nutritionist for my team that helps design all of our nutrition for our clients. I wanted to give you some of my tips and tricks, both as a chef, as a trainer, and as a client of myself technically, on what I find to be the most successful ways to do meal prepping, to make it easy and affordable as life goes on. I like to keep things simple. I have some food laid out for you today. It's actually some of the food we've prepped for one of our meal prep clients. So this is real meal prep. This is measured out food, measured out macros, so we'll get into all of that. Our first objective is macros. You need to understand proteins, carbs, and fats. Your body needs a specific amount of each to survive each day. As long as you don't have deficiencies, allergies, things like that, I preach just a sustainable, whole diet. Personally, what works for me, I'm very carb sensitive. You might be very sensitive to fats. Doesn't matter. It's whatever works for you, works for me. The only thing that really is of paramount importance is your protein. 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of lean mass for a woman and 1 to 1.25 for a male. Now, once we anchor in our protein, we know where we should be starting, and I just want to hit those numbers. How carbs and fats fall into place? That's up to you. For our options today, I gave us two breakfast decisions. One that's an on-the-go, ready-to-go, high-protein breakfast. This is a high-protein superfood oat. It's creatures of habit. I'll make sure I put a link in the bio below. If you have a little bit more time when you're actually cooking, when you're prepping, I have an egg dish with sweet potatoes. As we move towards lunch, I have both a carb-heavy and a fat-heavy lunch. I have a burrito. It's my father's recipe that I kind of turned healthy for our people, as well as a taco bowl, right? With like a pan-fried, my own seasoning for a hand-picked bone-in pan-fried chicken, right? With good guac, good sour cream, things like that. Now, we supplement with a nice protein shake, but what does that mean for you? So meal prep, you need to understand, is basically giving you the opportunity to eat clean, well-made food consistently through the week. In previous videos, we've talked about your office space and things like that, where we need you to have resources available. This is that opportunity. When I look at my weekly objectives, this is our big number 2. It's what do I need to do to make sure I have success? First things first, know your macros. Secondly, pick a day to do it, right? So this is gonna be a Sunday for me, is meal prep day. And I do everything I can to make sure I get it done on Sundays. I'm gonna get my grocery store in. I'm gonna make sure I'm doing all my prepping. I have my containers washed and ready. I prefer glass, not plastic. And then after that, you're ready to go for the week. I personally cook once a week. I don't have the time or the energy to waste cooking 2 or 3 days in the week. Some people love that. Some people can't do the same foods every day, all day. I can. There is a theory that if you're eating a well-balanced diet, you should be able to eat the same things consistently because your body's not craving outside nutrients. When you all of a sudden crave a carrot, or you're craving sugar, or you're craving something, it's because your body feels like there's a deficiency. Whether or not it is, or whether or not it's right or wrong, it just does that. So if you're eating a good food, well balanced through the week, you shouldn't be craving anything, and you should be able to consistently be reaching for that food, right? When I focus on prepping for myself, I like to have a heavier carb in the morning. My oats, gonna be a big one. I love a big omelet breakfast with oatmeal on the side, something like that. I'm a big dude, I gotta eat a lot of food. And then lunch as well. So I'll naturally reach for a bigger carbohydrate lunch for most part. And then beyond that, I try and follow no carbs past 3. Now remember, I'm carb sensitive. I still hit my carb numbers, right? Protein is stapled in, I hit my carb numbers, but it's by like 2 or 3 o'clock. After that, I'm eating protein and veggies, right? So I feel leaner, I sleep better, my blood sugar drops at night. There's a lot of great success, both in hormone regulation, sleep success, and then performance. You'll wake up hungry the next day, the whole night, it just rolls over. So that's kind of my secret to success for myself. I hope that works for you, but you might have a different routine. You might work late, you might work out late, you need to eat bigger at night. It depends. There's no perfect solution when it comes to nutrition, but what I ask you to do is know your macros and find your successful solution. Find your path forward, and I'm just giving you tools to success. How do we create a plate, and how do we space it out through the week? So I like to follow 30, 40, 30. So 30% of my calorie intake is in the breakfast. I like to have a bigger lunch. slam down some food, and then I like to kind of taper off coming into dinner. So 30% of my macros in the morning, 40% in the midday, 30% in the evening. When I break up my plates, I staple in my protein. I make sure every plate that I eat hits my protein. So for a 250, 260 pound person, right, I want to be eating, if I'm eating 5 meals a day, right, somewhere between 30 and 50 grams, depending on what you're eating on each meal, right? So if I can eat 50 grams per 5 meals, all of a sudden that's 250, and that's the perfect number for me. But it might fluctuate a little bit, which is why I give you some wiggle room, right? Break it up for yourself. Sometimes you don't get a chance to eat, but I can tell you right now, slamming down a protein shake takes you about 1.5 minutes, and all it requires is water, right? So that's a great way to still hit your caloric intake, your protein goal, and not have to worry about food. Now, it's not an all-around solution. I need you eating whole foods, but it's a way to find success. I hope this gave you some ideas. Keep things simple, keep it affordable. Think about the outside of the grocery store when you're walking around, keeping it whole foods, not processed as best you can. And don't let it overwhelm you, right? Meal prep can get really tedious really quickly. Keep it simple, right? Things that you enjoy, things that you love, things that your families love, and make sure it's something that you can consistently do each and every day, each and every week, each and every month. If you liked what I had to say, please click the link, subscribe. I would love to have you join us on this journey. I'm Joshua Haig, and thanks for joining me today.